The ground can be your toughest opponent or your biggest ally. You continue to battle and work with it no matter what you want to accomplish. It's one of those laws of physics that just can't be avoided, but it can be conquered. The more force you develop and apply to the ground, the quicker and more powerful you can accelerate forward. The faster and stronger you can react to someone or something else, the more you will enhance your performance. So, how can you enhance your performance?
Hammer Strength machines have been recognized nationally as the leader in health club and fitness equipment for several years. As you can see, most athletes perform with their feet on the ground, so the experts at Hammer Strength have recently teamed with Husker Power to develop new ground-based hammer machines.
The new hammer ground-based technology fits right into the principles we use at Nebraska, with exercises that are not only ground-based, but are multiple joint actions done explosively. The new ground-based technology is quite different from the fitness machines Hammer has offered up to now. This video will show you how to use these new machines correctly and why they work so well for athletes in power sports. Let's go now to our Husker Power research expert, Mike Arthur.
Newton's third law states for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. When this law is applied to athletics, a force applied against the ground causes an equal and opposite reaction in the movement of the direction. The more force developed and applied to the ground, the quicker the athlete can accelerate and the more physical they are.
To illustrate this point, let's have a demonstration. As this single athlete pulls a sled with 400 pounds over 5 yards, it takes approximately 2.18 seconds. Multiple athletes can pull the same sled the same distance in less than 1.5 seconds. The summation of forces produced by multiple men pulling in the same direction exceeds the force generated by one man pulling. Greater forces against the ground allow for greater acceleration.
That's right. The key is to involve multiple muscle group actions timed in the proper neuromuscular recruitment patterns to develop the coordination and ability to generate explosive force. Single muscle group actions such as bicep curls or leg extension do not require coordination of multiple muscles working together and don't generate much force.
During a block, you must have your feet on the ground to express maximum force, and you only have a split second to apply force by extending the legs and hips to generate power. Watch as force is applied. Training with heavy poundages and high velocities allows the greatest generation of power. The time it takes to do a jammer extension is less than 0.2 of a second, about the same time that it takes to make a block, or tackle, or hit a home run. The speed of action may not be the desired objective in all exercise programs. For fitness and rehabilitation programs, the same exercise can be done slowly to develop stabilization and muscle strength safely without explosive movements. The principles that have been described up to this point can all be done with free weights, but for the proper angle of application of force, you need to have a jammer in your program. The hammer jammer extension allows the athlete to apply force with the feet against the ground at a proper angle for blocking and tackling.
Nebraska has always been a big proponent of free weights, but this angle of application is not possible with free weights. One of Gary Jones' first concerns when we asked him to design this machine was, how do I build a machine to provide explosive lifting safely? He's done it and actually created another major exercise at the same time. We call it the jammer rotation.
Many sport actions require rotation of the body, and some actions require all the force to be generated with one leg. By lifting the front foot, the force is applied in a straight line throughout the body. Another bonus of the jammer is the jammer press exercise. Even though the bench press is very popular, the bench press with free weights does not allow the muscles of the shoulder girdle to stabilize the pressing action. The bench itself provides the stabilization. The jammer press or jammer extension are better exercises because they require the shoulder girdle and joints to act as stabilizers. These guidelines must be kept in mind when doing any explosive exercise on the hammer jammer. The purpose of this exercise is to develop explosive power in the hips, legs, torso, shoulders, and arms. The correct starting position is determined by how the body is positioned at the end of the movement. Start with a light weight and determine how the body finishes. If the body can be positioned in a straight alignment, then the starting position is correct. If the body can't be positioned in a straight alignment, the feet need to be repositioned either forward or backward. Purpose of this exercise is to develop rotational power in the hips, legs, and torso. This movement is done from one side of the machine. Major development from this exercise will be to the pectoral muscles and stabilizer muscles of the posterior shoulder, with some development of the anterior deltoids and triceps. Let's go now to our Husker Power facility expert, Randy Goebel.
The ground-based jammer should be bolted down for best results.
The purpose of the shrug pull is to develop the leg, hip, back, and trapezius muscles. This exercise is used as a preliminary strengthening exercise for pulling movements. The purpose of the deadlift exercise is to strengthen the quadriceps, gluteus maximus, and the erector stabilizers. As you can see, this exercise can be done on either the hammer shrug pull machine or the hammer deadlift machine. The one-leg deadlift exercise can be performed on the hammer deadlift machine to strengthen the quadricep, gluteus maximus, hamstrings, and spinal rectors of the lower back. This is considered an advanced exercise and may be too demanding for beginners. The purpose of the hammer standing neck machine is to develop the neck muscles while stabilizing the movement with the trunk and leg muscles. The newest berth in hammer ground-based machines came out twins. The push-pull right and push-pull left are a pair of ground-based machines that transfer force through the body in a rotational movement. To improve athletic performance, your strength program should consist of exercises that are ground-based, multiple muscle actions. The explosive ones are done on Mondays and Thursdays, with slow movements on Tuesdays and Fridays. These machines were designed for athletes, but since they train multi-muscle groups, more work can be done in a shorter period of time, which can also enhance fitness programs.
This exercise that Josh is using right now is actually the first station in a 6-station circuit we call the push-pull circuit. This is kind of an incline action, and because it's a little difficult, we want to do it first. And it does work the upper fibers of the chest, stabilizes the shoulders, and of course, because you're standing, you get a lot of core development. The force goes into the ground, comes up through the body in order to allow him to do the action. Some people might even train in a stagger start with their foot off the ground to increase the hip rotation here. And you don't need to overdo that, and you don't need to do it all the time. But some athletes just have a real problem with hip rotation in their performance. So this will really improve on that. The twist pull left and the twist pull right that Josh is demonstrating simulates a bench press action, kind of a horizontal chest press. And much better actually than a bench press because you don't have a bench stabilizing your back. All the force is distributed across the shoulder through the core of the body down into the ground. The combo decline is actually one of the more popular of the push-pull circuit stations. This reciprocal action really causes the body to develop on both sides, and the trainers and therapists that I visit with are really impressed with this reciprocal concept.
This is the ground-based zero, and again, just like the other pieces, where this one doesn't focus on a particular plane, it focuses on a broad range of planes, so from your low to your high planes, from your high to your low planes. So what we do on this piece of equipment is I want you to step into the piece of equipment. I want you to line yourself up with the angle of the handle. I want you to grip it with both hands, just like you got frozen ropes. Then you're going to hip into the bar, lifting at the same time, being light on the feet, turn and twisting, just like you were throwing a shot put. Hip in, twist, hip in, twist. Okay, we can set him up to do power presses on this piece as well. By doing power presses, again, he's getting more of a single motion forward, again, developing the glutes, hamstrings, the calves, shoulders, triceps, upper and lower back. Basically, what the machines are focusing on are this core stability region right in here, because he's getting a connection from the core to his upper body for the transfer of energy. Now, in this position as well, he can do an isolateral scissor as well.
What you see here is a row of jammers. The jammer was designed for the extension, but we also found that we could do a jammer rotation once we got the machine. The jammer is used on explosive day. We do this twice a week, 5 to 10 repetitions. And what you're really doing is developing the triple extension, where you're using your ankles, knees, and hips combined together. All the forces are combined together into one explosive action. The angle that we have would be impossible to do with free weights. Again, this is combined with the hang clean on explosive day. This push-pull circuit is a great way to finish up a heavy or slow day workout. First, you want to do your major exercises, your squat, bench press, or whatever you're going to do for the day, and then finish up with these 6 stations. We tend to do this twice a week, one day a little heavier than the other, so you might choose to do 3 sets of 10 on your heavy workout of the week and come back with 2 sets of 10 on each of the 6 stations on your second or lighter day of the week. On the push-pull circuit, the athlete controls how much weight they use, how much rest they take as they move from one station to the next, and you can move pretty quickly if you want to and make it kind of an aerobic effect. or you can take a little more controlled rest between stations and use heavier weight.